It's Morbin time! Hey, let me ask you, what kind of noise do you think a creature that looks like this would make? A baby? It sounds like a baby? Oh my goodness, that dude just killed a baby! We're off to a great start! Alright, carrying on with season 13, this time bringing us into the year 1976. The Brain of Morbius is a campy, fun, 4-part story full of fun, frights, and freakish imagery. Pretty fitting, seeing as it's the spooky season at the time of uploading. While doing research on Planet of Evil, Wikipedia said something about it having a very strong Jekyll and Hyde influence, a sentiment that was echoed by one of my viewers, but personally, I found that to be a more superficial similarity at best. But this is straight up Frankenstein's monster. Complete with a spooky castle, a decapitated head, ominous lightning, an Igor-like servant, and of course, a mad scientist! A scientist that really wants head. Get your brain out the gutter. Yeah, get your brain out the gutter and put it into the brain of Morbius. Anyway, you see, in this universe, Morbius was a Time Lord who was big and powerful and turned evil and was stopped by the Time Lords, just like Omega and the Master and Rassilon. And okay, Gallifrey, you'll really got to stop making kids look into the heart of an untempered schism because you're churning out way too many maniacs. Now, kids these days might know the character Morbius from his parallel universe counterpart, where he's an edgy vampire wannabe played by a pedophile who goes up against the 11th Doctor and gets laughed out of existence. Or this. But we're here to talk about the good Morbius. Not like the character's good. I mean, he's pretty evil, but I mean, like, you know what I mean. It's not the Marvel crap. Like I said, this is good, campy fun. A light dose of horror, if you will. It's nothing by today's standards, but I know it caused a little bit of a stir back in the day with several complaints regarding some of its content. Imagine getting offended by classic Doctor Who. Oh, shut up. I had watched this one back in the day, but I don't remember anything from it aside from the finished monstrosity, the final creature design for Morbius's body. So that episode 1 cliffhanger hit me like, damn! I was really surprised to see the Sisterhood of Khan, the same geezers from The Night of the Doctor where he regenerates into the War Doctor. That's so cool that was a throwback to this classic episode. Also, super duper fun fact, there is an awesome documentary on the special features of this DVD that's narrated by Paul McGann. You know, the guy that played the 8th Doctor, who regenerated in that special that I just talked about with the Sisterhood like 5 seconds ago that came out 5 years after this DVD was released. Small universe. And need I bring this up again? Just another connection. Anyways, the Sisterhood are in charge of the special sauce that grants eternal life. Apparently, they had a fractured relationship with the Time Lords once upon a time where they provided them with some of the life-extending fruit juice or something like that. But if you think that muddles the law, don't even get me started on the extra faces. We'll get to that. Although, that's not the only contradictory canon. The Doctor exclaims that he's in his 700s. But I was so sure that William Hartnell's Doctor said that he was around 900. Actually, it could have been the 2nd Doctor in the Tomb of the Cybermen. Either way, I'm 99% sure we've heard a previous Doctor say that he's around 900 before, which always confused me as a fan, because doesn't David Tennant's 10th Doctor say that I'm 900 years old from Gallifrey and the constellation of Castorabus in the awesome monologue from Voyage of the Damned? So did that mean that William Hartnell's 1st Doctor lived to be 900 and then each subsequent regeneration only lasted a few years? Dang it, why does the Timeless Child have to exist? Actually, you know what? Screw it, we're bringing it up now. The thing that this serial is probably most remembered for by fans is this tiny moment near the end of the story where previous regenerations of the Doctor are shown on a monitor. We see Baker, Pertwee, Troughton, Hartnell, and then a bunch of other random faces. Who the heck are these guys? I mean, I know in the real world they're production staff, but in universe they are very clearly intended to be earlier incarnations of the Doctor, despite the first Doctor very clearly being referred to as the earliest incarnation. Then, of course, the whole Time Lords have 13 lives thing comes into play, so it can't make sense, but then the Timeless Child had to go and throw a wrench into the works and Look, any Doctor Who fan knows that the canon and lore just doesn't always line up. So, what I recommend you do is do what I've always said, and just pick and choose what you feel is canon. Oh, I just realised that's probably what the term headcanon is supposed to mean, but is usually relegated to fan theories and shipping characters together and all that Tumblr cringe. No disrespect if that's your thing, but it's never interested me. Well, I just went on a bit of a tangent there, didn't I? Ah well, who really needs a plot synopsis anyway? Odds are if you're watching this you've already seen it. And while it's not particularly a favourite of mine, it's easily a classic and an easy recommendation to anyone who appreciates the goofier side of sci-fi. There's so much going on in this one. Bad rain effects that's literally just a filter in front of the screen. Magnificent set designs. Sarah goes blind for a while, just cause. The cast is top notch. In particularly, despite being in the show before, Philip Maddock kills it as this evil mad scientist. An absolute scene stealer with my new favourite insult. You chicken-brained biological disaster! Also, on a personal note from me, I appreciate that the show almost acknowledges the fact that the Doctor keeps falling unconscious every 5 minutes and has had numerous death fake-outs. Thought I was dead, didn't you? Yes, actually. You keep making that mistake, don't you? Shut up, Doctor! Oh, and before I go, the voice of Morbius totally sounds nothing like a Dalek.
Hello, I am Morbius,
Haha! Thank you for watching. Sometimes when I sit down to write a script for these reviews, I manage to get all my notes onto the page in a nice cohesive manner, and other times it's just a jumbled mess, so I hope this wasn't too scattershot and made some kind of sense. Thank you very much for watching. Tune in next week for the season finale, The Seeds of Doom.